Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go to this great email that was sent from a subscriber. This is all from a guy who shares his story about how a couple years ago, when he was 31 and his fiancée at the time was 30, out of nowhere, she ends their 5-year relationship, no more marriage, because, wait for it, she was looking for a guy that was more unpredictable and more exciting than he was. Because this guy obviously wasn't doing it for her in that department. And I might add that all her friends were single. So you're going to see here, obviously this is very tough on him, but he moves on. And wait till you see what happens down the road as this guy gets his life together here. And I don't want to spoil it, so I'm just going to, I'm not going to say too much there. Let you guys listen, you'll see what happens. But I'm doing this, guys, for many reasons. One, to cover the fact that this obviously happens a lot. And so for any of you guys that have to be watching this right now and experiencing this, you got to know that this type of crap happens. However, if you move on from this with your life, guess what? Ultimately, they all come back. They all call later on down the road. All right, okay, let me backtrack. I can't say all because there are exceptions, but generally speaking, it seems like the majority of the times you're going to hear from them down the road, and they're going to want you back. And you're going to enjoy the satisfaction of rejecting them after they have horribly rejected you. I mean, this dude was with her for 5 years, and just boom, all her friends are single, obviously still wanting to ride the carousel. And I want to might add, she was 30 years old. Her prime is ending, and his prime is beginning. And this is when she's kicking him to the curb. Not a good idea, and you're going to see that. I'm also doing this, guys, about how important it is, like I say before, for your relationship, guys, to always pay attention who your girl hangs out with. Because if she's the only one that's in a relationship and she's seemingly happy, but the rest of them are all single and not very happy, they could try to sabotage her relationship. Okay? Things like that. And there's other things along here as well, as girls dumping guys for guys that exhibit bad boy qualities, and then they realize, then they get with the bad boys, and then they complain because those bad boys don't act like nice guys. It's around and around we go. But anyhow, guys, this is a good comeback story, and I don't want to reveal any more than I already have so far. So it starts off, he says, Hi SSM. Backstory, 2019. I'm a 31-year-old guy who got dumped by my fiancée, a 30-year-old female, 2 years ago. Everything was going well until one of her friends got divorced. I thought that it changed her outlook on marriage and relationships, but in the end, I found it was because their whole group was single except her. Ding, ding, ding. Pay attention to that. During my last conversation with her, she told me that she never got to experience any fun because our relationship and how it limited her from bonding with her friends. Translation, she didn't get to ride the carousel as much as she thought she should have, and bonding with her friends in the sense that they're all going out riding the carousel and partying, going to the clubs and hooking up and being able to share these experiences and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, it sounds to me like you're a good guy and she was in a loving, committed relationship with you and you were treating her well, but nope, not unpredictable enough, not exciting enough. Does this sound at all familiar, guys? I'm sure somebody's watching this that experienced something like this and got kicked to the curb for BS like this. Well, as much as this may infuriate some of you, believe me, our friend here has the last laugh, and she certainly doesn't. Moreover, she told me that while she did love me dearly, bullshit, she just didn't see a long-term future with me. I wasn't exciting or unpredictable, and that's something she really wants in her next partner. Yeah, how well is that going to go in that relationship? Isn't it interesting? I tell you guys all the time, never take dating advice, relationship advice, that type of advice from women, because women don't know what the hell they want. And they don't understand what they emotionally respond to. You'll have the gal say, I'm looking for a nice guy that treats me well, that I know where I stand with, that tells me that he loves me, all these qualities that typically nice guys do, or just a guy that treats someone else like a human being. He does these things, and then she gets bored and says that he is, wait for it, he's too predictable, too boring, and she's looking for a guy that's unpredictable, a guy that is exciting, because this guy isn't doing it. So she breaks up with that guy, rides the carousel, ends up in a relationship with the bad boy type, and then complains because she never knows, he never calls, he never texts, he blows her off to go hang out with his friends, he does all these things that she claimed that she wanted, unpredictable, exciting, keeping her emotions all over the place, and complains. The point is, you can't make him happy either way. And so, and he wonders, so many guys have said, that's it, I'm done. Now, sure, life is about balance and finding the happy medium, but still. Anyhow, he said she didn't seem to have a single drop of emotion during this conversation, and we just agreed to end our 5-year relationship. Her last words to me, I'm sorry, but we just aren't compatible anymore. I was crushed, but accepted it, and I moved on with my life. Dude, that is the only thing you can do, really. Because if you just sat there and cried and carried on and begged and pleaded, number one, that would never get her back. But number two, you look like a complete jackass. And it would be understandable if you were feeling that way on the inside, but you don't want to let it be shown on the outside. A lot of guys would keep trying to get her back and get her back, or a lot of guys would go talk to their female friends, and the female friends would say, oh, go sweep her off her feet, send her flowers, or some BS like that. No, you moved on. And watch the power in this. He says, on to the present in 2021. I'm currently casually dating a college student, a 26-year-old female, with no intention of ever getting hitched. During one of our recent... It's early in the morning, guys. I haven't had enough water, so I'm a little backed up here. I'm currently dating a college student, 26-year-old female, with no intention of ever getting hitched. Good. Good for you. No need to rush. Don't even worry about that. After what you went through, I can't blame you. By the way, yeah, he's dating a 26-year-old, and it's now 2 years later, so he's about 33. He is now, guys, he's entered his prime. Meanwhile, the ex is gone from her prime. He says, during one of our recent dates, we ran into my old ex. Aha. Me and my ex had a favorite restaurant, and even after we split up, I still love the place, so I frequented it often. But this was the first time I ever bumped into my ex post-breakup. My ex was alone, and it looked like she was leaving. We exchanged pleasantries, and I went on my date as usual. Well, I gotta tell you that in this situation where you ran into her, and right there next to you is a gal that's 6 or 7 years younger than her, and I'm going to assume equally as pretty, if not prettier. Of course, hey, how are you? This is Jessica. Jessica, this is my bitchy ex-girlfriend. Have a good day. Watch the impact it has on her. He says, I didn't really think much of my ex during our meal until my date caught her staring at us through the glass door. I didn't quite get a look at my ex through the door, but my date swore she saw her. She was staring down her so-called competition. She saw you with this younger girl, you happy, you having a good time, and she's alone. Of course she's staring. I thought she was just seeing things, but as we're leaving the restaurant, I noticed I had received a few texts from my ex. He hasn't heard from her in 2 years. He runs into her, and he's with a younger, hotter woman, and now she's bombarding him with texts. And by the way, you think she'd at least have the decency to let him enjoy his evening and maybe message him the next day. Oh, no. She wants to sabotage things right away. I never blocked her since I never received a message from her ever since our split. So these sudden messages surprise me. I'm not surprised. I didn't bother to read it or reply to any of the messages at the time, as I thought she was just going to wish us happy holidays, but curiosity got the best of me, and I read it the next day. Dude, I'm shocked that you actually waited till the next day. I'm surprised you didn't go excuse yourself to the bathroom and be like, oh, what the hell does she want? And there you go. But you know what? It goes to show you how you've moved on from her. And you're having a great time with that chick you're dating, and you were probably back at your place hooking up in multiple rooms. And you're like, oh, I'll check the next day. Reading her text made me furious, as she wanted to meet up and also explain why she left me and who she dated afterwards. Explain? You ditched me so you could go ride the carousel, and I wasn't exciting enough and unpredictable enough. Well, this guy's going to give her a little bit of what she wanted. Be careful what you wish for, lady. Explain my butt. It turns out she went back to the carousel lifestyle with her friends, but soon she missed being in a relationship, so she went back to her ex, who she claimed did Did things he shouldn't have. I got to watch what I say on YouTube. Hostile. Because he was still really into the party lifestyle. Rode the carousel. Missed being in a relationship. No surprise there. This guy had moved on. And she went back to her bad boy ex. And bad boys don't change. As you can expect, 2 months after they got together, she found him cheating on her and kicked him out. Karma. According to her, now the situation was reversed. She's single and everyone else in the group had a relationship. Yes, even the divorcee. Oh, how interesting. Now all her friends that were the carousel riders that she wanted to join and bond with because she wasn't getting enough bonding time with this dude when she was in a good relationship. Now they're all in relationships. And well, she doesn't want to be the odd woman out. So now she wants to go back. And who's she going to? Her former sure thing. Because in her mind, this dude is the same guy he was years earlier. So I should be no problem getting him back. Wrong. This guy's moved on. This guy's learned. And I might add, this guy's now dating a chick younger than her and probably better looking than her. Do you think he's going to give up that to go back to her who kicked him to the curb and broke his heart like that, and threw him away like garbage? Oh no. She asked me to give us another try and how I shouldn't be messing around with a younger, immature woman who won't treat me right. I got to read that again. She asked me to give us another try and how I shouldn't be messing around with a younger, immature woman who won't treat me right. Oh, you mean treat him the way that you treated him? That's considered right? And let me tell you guys, she ended it with him. She's got no place to judge who he goes out with, what he does, any of that. Now, if she was a good, loyal girlfriend, fiancé, and he kicked her to the curb out of the blue like that for the same reasons, and was dating a bunch of younger chicks and riding the carousel with the younger chicks, I can see her having a reason to be a little bit annoyed. Fair enough. But she's the one that broke up with him and crushed his heart, and now she's going to tell him he shouldn't be dating. The nerve. And see the shaming tactic, making him out to be the bad guy, dating those younger girls. Point is, she's now 32 years old, and guess what? She's not as attractive as she once was when she was younger. That's probably also part of the reason that her friends are all settling, because they're all about the same age, I guess. And guess what? They can't attract the type of dudes they did in the past because they're now in their early 30s. Now all of a sudden, she wants to be the good man, be in a good relationship. I wanted to reply a big F off, but I decided to send a thumbs up emoji instead to mess with her head. A couple of minutes after I sent that, my phone went off with texts and calls from my ex. She asked what the thumbs up meant and a few other questions, but I promptly blocked her without replying. Good for you. Yeah, I'm sure it was tempting to say F off, but you know what? By you sending her just a thumbs up, she didn't exactly know what that meant. So therefore, it confused her, and then she used that as an excuse to reach out to you. It was making her crazy. Remember, she's the one that wanted the guy that was exciting and unpredictable. Well, there you go. You were being hard to read. So you were giving her what she said she wanted. I didn't think much of it. I thought I was having a little fun messing with her, and she'll probably get over it soon. But I was wrong. I got home from work last week, and there was an envelope taped to my door. It was a letter from my ex. Okay, she's really crossing the line now where she's coming to your door and putting your property and putting something on your door. Not cool. Sounds like somebody's desperate. Somebody's in her 30s now, and the clock is ticking, the biological clock, and all her friends are getting hitched, and she doesn't want to be the only one out, so she's going to what she considers to be a sure thing. It was an apology letter with a big sob story of how she was hanging around with bad influences, and she would have been my wife right now, but she ruined it. You're damn right she ruined it. And notice she was blaming the bad influences. Now, I'm sure there is some truth to that. As I say, watch out who your girl hangs out with, because they could ruin it. But where is the accountability? Where is her saying, I screwed up. You were a great guy. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going to blame my girlfriends for this instead. She said that our zodiac signs were the universe's way of telling us that we were meant to be together. She scheduled a meetup time for us at an expensive cafe, her treat. She ended the letter with the, so please give me a chance to be your wife this time. You had your chance, honey. We were together for 5 years, and you kicked me to the curb because you wanted to ride Chad and Tyrone one more time with your girlfriends to bond with them. And notice he said here that in the letter that she wrote to him, she scheduled a time and place for them to meet. He never made a commitment to this, so she's going to go to this place thinking he's going to just show up there, and obviously, well, you'll see. I immediately contacted the security in my complex to not let her in anymore and threw the letter away. Good, bro. I was conflicted on what to do. I know I wasn't ever going to go back with her, but it sounded like she just wanted to talk, and I felt the urge to get some sort of revenge. Well, I don't blame you for wanting to get some revenge. I don't blame you. But remember, bro, simply you moving on and living your life and being happy, and the fact that you're now dating a younger chick, and it's obviously not like you're going to get together with this girl or married, but the fact is you moved on, you're happy, and she's not. That's all the revenge you need. I mean, really, it is. But this guy has a little fun with her. He says, I know it goes against your advice, but I wanted to mess with her head a little bit more. So I unblocked her and messaged that I received her letter. She asked me what I thought about it and if I could make it on the scheduled date, but I just blocked her again after that. The day of her schedule came and I stood her up. I unblocked her again and apologized as I was busy that day. She said it was fine and then asked me when I was free for another time. I said, maybe next week, same place. And when she asked what specific day, I blocked her again. I don't blame you, dude, but, I can't blame you, and I don't know what you felt and experienced and all that, but still, at the end of the day, it's just best to cut them off. You got your revenge. She came crawling back to you. She's begging for a second chance. You got your revenge. But it's still funny. I kind of feel guilty for leading her on, but she could just as easily ignore my messages. I think I live in her head rent-free as the one who got away. That's what she called me in her letter. Recently, she's tried to reach out again via email, but I'm just giving her the silent treatment. I don't want to lead her on anymore, so I think I'll just lay low until she gets the message. Well, doesn't sound like she's getting the message to me. She's very persistent and very desperate. It's amazing on how fast women will dump you for fun and new opportunities, but will come back just as quick when they realize how much of a downgrade their single lives are. Yes, how many videos have you guys have watched me for a while now? How many videos have I done just like this? Just like this. If you ever read this, I just want to say thank you, SSM, and I hope you keep continuing on doing what you're doing. Have a wonderful day. Bro, this is my purpose. I'm doing this twice a day now, and I love what I do, so I will always be here for you guys, sharing all sorts of stories and articles to help you guys out better your lives. But this is a great story, man, and I'm sorry you went through that shit 5 years ago. That really sucked, but I'm glad you moved on. I'm glad you moved on. You're doing well, and I'm especially glad you didn't take her back, because let's just say hypothetically in a parallel universe you decide to take her back. You may have gotten the royalty treatment for a few weeks, but very slowly go right back into it, and in back of her mind she would know, it would be confirmed with her that she could do whatever she wanted and you'll always take her back. And her respect for you would get worse, and she'd be treating you like crap soon enough, and she'd be like the rest of the girls in her group that were going to get married to some guy they settled for, or just some sucker, and then would probably they'd be cheating on their husband. That'll be the next phase, by the way. Her friends are all getting hitched. They're all going to get married together, and this woman, your ex, will probably find some poor sucker and marry him too, and they'll all do the wife thing for probably a couple of years, and then they'll start getting bored, and next thing you know, they'll all be cheating together because that'll be their bonding experience, and that could have been you. So, in a way, looking back, because the saying hindsight's 20/20, she did you a favor because you're no longer with her, and these friends of hers are going to be her influence far more than you or any guy she ends up with for life. Imagine what he's going to deal with. So now you're single, you're wiser, doing well for yourself, I hope, and you're in your prime. You're in your early 30s. This is when a guy's prime begins, because this is when we gain our level of maturity. This is when we start having some money in our bank accounts, when we start doing well for ourselves. And this guy, and pretty much, I've read supposedly that a man's his peak is 50. Well, that's wonderful for me because I'm 43, so I still got time. But the point is, For guys, you just keep taking care of yourselves, taking care of yourself physically. Doesn't mean you got to be in the gym 6 days a week for 3 hours a day, but if you're staying fit and healthy, you're eating well, taking care of your body, you're looking good, dressing well, you're working hard on your purpose, whatever that is. You are making sure you always live beneath your means, so you have money to put away every month to invest and grow with time. You don't piss away your money on BS. You're doing well for yourself. You're a high value. You don't need to be a billionaire or a multimillionaire to be a high value guy. If you're doing well for yourself and you're happy and you're looking good and you're healthy and you got a good circle of friends, good relationship with your family, your own business or a job that you do well in, you're high value. That's the big misconception. Everybody's thinking like, oh, you got to be super rich. No, not at all. But you also have that attitude. You have that outlook on life. Okay? I'm not a billionaire. I don't have a private jet. I don't have a yacht. But I do damn well for myself, and I take care of myself. I'm healthy. I love my life. Okay? But I've made it this way. Okay? And I made a lot of mistakes along the way, just like many of you guys have or will. But you pick up the pieces and move on. But anyhow, I'm going off topic here. But anyway, the point is, good for this guy. We can all be this guy. Just keep working on yourselves, guys. Don't take shit from anybody and learn from your mistakes and keep on trucking. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, always, if you have a great story you'd like to share, I don't care if it happened last week or it happened 25 years ago. Email it to me. Tell me what the experiences you had, what you overcame, what you learned from it. Just make sure you write out really well. And I'll definitely do it down the road if it certainly works. Some things I have to hold on to because I don't want to do like the same thing every day. But I'll do it down the road. And this also goes for any articles you may come across or any kind of crazy stories that happen to be up on Reddit, something that I would cover. Email it to me. It makes my job easier, and that way I can crank out more videos and keep entertaining you guys. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.